Hi, I'm Kim Ross with Kaizen Living, and we're continuing our lessons about the law of attraction with a curriculum that I wrote several months ago, drawing on numerous sources, and it's called Say Yes. Say yes to the art of allowing, say yes to creating your own reality. And I had planned in this lesson to talk about how we create a personal environment that is conducive to our growth. But some things have really been on my heart today, so I'm going to delay that lesson and talk about something else. In the first lesson, we talked about why say yes. We talked about some of the ways that we say no to the law of attraction, and we block good things from coming into our life, and we block our own growth. And I've had a lesson in the last week about that power of saying yes, even when it's not quite fully what you think you're heading toward, but yet your intuition is saying, absolutely take this opportunity, and your head is saying, but no, it's not everything I want. So I've had a personal lesson in that, and then I also want to talk about a little bit what's happening in our society that I think is profoundly affecting a lot of people right now. But to start off with, just a personal story that I think illustrates the power of saying yes, and also the power of using the tools that we really have available to us. Sorry about the shaking. I decided to sit on my comfy couch this evening. About a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, I was offered a job, a part-time job in a field that I really, really love. And that came after a period of unemployment that had lasted a few months. I was laid off from the job where I had been, and although I was called in here and there to fill in, it definitely wasn't providing enough to live on. And, I went through a period of time over those few months. I had numerous interviews. I tend to interview well, and so honestly I was a little stymied by the fact that every door seemed to be closed. I think there was only one opportunity that I even got a second interview, and I've just never had that kind of pushback in that situation when I have been looking for work. So it has been a very puzzling time for me, a very confusing time for me. And so about 2 weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago today, I was offered a job that was part-time and, quite honestly, not paying what I felt that the position warranted, but something really told me to say yes. And so, not knowing how I was going to fill the gap income-wise, not knowing how I could find something that would fit schedule-wise, I said yes to the job, and I was needed right away, and so I started right away, the very next day after the job offer, and really stepped into a wonderful artistic environment where I can express my own creativity in terms of organizing my time. Basically I put together events and run them, and I find there's a great deal of creativity in that. And as I said, it was like half-time hours, and so I'm going along, building this wonderful relationship with my supervisor. And then just a few days ago, I was quite surprised to learn that my supervisor decided to leave his employment with no notice. And so what we have before us as an organization is 3 pretty massive events, and quite honestly the organization just wasn't where it should be for something that's kind of imminently upon us. And so I was asked to immediately start working 40 hours a week and to kind of take the reins and get us through these next couple of weeks, which are going to be quite chaotic. And then I was told right up front, we would really like you to step into this job. We'll visit the details after these, couple of major things get past us, and I'm really okay with that. But my point is this. When I accepted the job, when I said yes to the job, again, my head was saying, it's not enough hours, it's not enough money, I can't live on this, and I just don't know how I'm going to make this work. And a week and a half later, it's a full-time job, and in another short week or so, it's going to be an increase, a promotion, in a field and with people and an organization that I'm just enormously proud to be part of. And so, it's, and I'll tell you a bit more too, and this comes after a period of about 4 years that has really been challenging for me. I left a profession that had been very fulfilling but also very demanding. It was really time for me to step into, more time for me, more time to explore my real calling of being a healer and a teacher. And in that time, it just not quite 4 years ago, I managed to manifest a tumor in my inner ear. And so 4 years ago in January, I had brain surgery. And it was a very difficult recovery. And I found it very difficult for quite some time to concentrate. I needed to work, obviously, and so I began doing clerical work. And for the last few years, that has sustained me. But it's not been terribly satisfying. And so, coming to this opportunity, this little part-time job that just wasn't going to quite do it, not only has led me to this full-time opportunity, but it also brings me out of a type of work that was very helpful to me at the time, and I value those who do clerical work for a career. But it's, I'm just thrilled that my tide has turned in the way it has. But frankly, it would not have done that if I were not willing to use the tools of that I've been talking about and will continue to talk about in this series of videos. It's very important to do the work. And I've said that saying yes is not passive. Doing the work of manifestation is not passive. Yes, we need to study. Yes, we need to absorb the concepts. But sitting around and navel gazing indefinitely over it is not going to bring us the life we want. We must be able to use the tools. So I did go on about that a bit longer than I had planned, but I want to shift a little bit to what I'm hearing from a lot of people. I'm part of a coaches group, and many of us are saying the same kinds of things recently. We find ourselves very tired and doing things like sleeping a lot and also doing a lot of reflection. And honestly, I think what we're suffering from is electionitis. I think the tenor of this presidential campaign is affecting so many people on a very deep level. There is such a high degree of negativity. There is so much, beyond negativity, there's so much hatred and bigotry that has been brought out in our society, that it's not only alarming, but we know that it really shifts energy when there's so much focus on the dark side of human nature. And so I just want to say, at this time, be patient with yourself. We are worn out, and with the news of recent days, And I'm recording this on October 12th, 2016. In the news of recent days, even more, continued hurtful revelations come forth, things that are being said that bring up, really trigger not only many women, but also men. And really not only disrespect women, but also disrespect good men. And it is just kind of rocking our world, not just our country, but truly it's rocking our world. And I think we just need to be patient with ourselves. If you're feeling some of these feelings, do get some extra sleep. Make sure that you're nurturing yourself in whatever way that works for you. Be graceful with yourself and be grateful for the positive things in life. It may be that some of us need to absent ourselves entirely from watching the news or just kind of feeling immersed in that negativity. Everyone knows what's best for them, and I just encourage you to be very gentle. Be very, very gentle with yourself, because it's all going to bring us to a new place. It's quite painful what we are going through and what we've been going through for months and months now, over a year really. And but I think what's coming up is because it's something we need to understand is a deep part of our culture, and it's a deep part of our culture that truly needs to be healed. And nothing can be healed if it doesn't come to the surface. And so for all the pain and hurt and lives lost and triggers, triggered, we really must continue to see that there is going to be hope for tomorrow. And I do truly believe that. I believe that there is healing going on in the midst of great pain. And so I just encourage you to be as nice to yourself as you are to your best friend or your spouse or partner. Be sweet to yourself, and have a good evening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.